Hi everyone, welcome to Unbox Learning, and in this video we are going to talk about the simple ways through which children can recover quickly from COVID. So for a fast recovery, what all can parents do? Because when you are at home, there are a lot of constraints, but by using minimal efforts, how you can make sure that your toddler is improving well is what I'm going to discuss. So first of all, when your child uh, suffers from coronavirus, symptoms vary from child to child. It is very important that you are under the care of a qualified doctor who understands your child and who has definitely been in touch with you. This has been a great help for me because my daughter's pediatrician had been seeing her since she was born, so he was fully aware of her metabolism and very much aware of the way her body responds to medicines. So that is tip number one. That is number one thing that you should be keeping in mind. uh, get recommendations from doctors who have seen your kids, who have been in touch with your kids. uh, for children, of course, you will notice that they become more finicky. They don't want to take food, they reject food, they do not want to take fluids because their taste becomes a little metallic. And as my experience goes, my kid did not want to eat anything at all, but then that absolutely is what you should be avoiding. Your kid should be eating and drinking as much as possible. So even though fever lasts for a less period of time, that is 2 days or maybe 3 days, kids recover fast. That's what the general notion is. But then again, cases vary, symptoms vary, and cases can become adverse. So simple things that you should keep in mind so that your toddler or your child recovers fast. Number one is keeping fever under control. So giving medicines that reduce fever, which includes paracetamol and all, under the guidance of doctor. Giving fever reducing medicines very important, because the more you let your child be in fever, the more difficult it is for the child to actually feel better and eat. So the fever has to go down in order to get that appetite back. So as my experience went, I felt that my child became excessively inactive, didn't want to respond much. But then this stage lasted for a short period of time, say 2 days or 3 days, but the appetite fell down drastically. So what you can do? Plenty of fluids and variation in fluids, be it soups, juices. Juices, when I say fresh juices, and veggies, lentils, rice, everything pressure cooked for 5-6 whistles, and then properly churned and sieved, mixed with water. That kind of a portion can also work if your kid is not able to swallow too much, because many a times they are coughing and it irritates their throat to have anything solid. Besan pancakes, or you can have pancakes made out of flour, from soya flour. You can have chapatis which are dipped in milk, nicely cooked chapatis put in milk, or fresh lentil soup. That is what your kid can have. You have to ensure your child is getting plenty and plenty of rest. So make sure that bedtime is somewhere around 8 o'clock. Yes, children don't want to sleep, but then you need to ensure that they are having at least 10 hours of sleep. It will give them a better boost and they will recover fast. Vitamin C is very, very important. Giving them zinc is very important. And multivitamins is again a very essential part of quick recovery. Many a times their liver gets affected because they're taking high dosage of medicines, though there are not many medicines that are recommended for kids. But then still when you take antibiotics, when you give antibiotics, the friendly bacteria in the gut and the liver, it goes away. So it's very important that you give lot of lactobacilli. Probiotics is essential. I gave Endogermina to my daughter. It's Endogermina Rescue, and we gave it for 5 days, and that is basically live, lactobacillus, which keeps it produces stomach friendly bacteria. You can give Yakult, you can give probiotic dahi, and that will relax your child's tummy. Do not give too much of oil and ghee. Oil, in fact, I totally avoided, and you can also do the same. 1 spoonful of ghee is enough, because that is also slippery. It can also irritate the throat. So for toddlers, 1 spoon of ghee is enough, and do not give too much of ghee. Lots and lots of rest. Too much of jumping around, running around must be avoided. Screen time should be reduced as much as possible, because it then ultimately affects your eyes, and this is the time when your eyes, your brain, your body has to be relaxed. Deep breathing, if you can teach your child, that will be very, very effective. So deep breathing, and then of course, if you can make your child feel a little warm, keep your child a little warm once the fever and all goes away. So maybe having a vest underneath the t-shirt or the frock, whatever the child is wearing, would also help. Giving saline nasal drops were also effective. It kept the nasal passage unblocked, it kept the nasal passage very clear, so that ensures a smooth breathing. If your toddler has had some congestion and nasal blocks, it's always beneficial to have your kid elevated a bit. So you can tuck in 2 pillows, or maybe 1 pillow if it is a thick one, and then your child can lie down. So instead of lying flat, a bit of a raise can be more helpful, so that the drainage passage from head till the chest, it remains toward it remains a little clear. So that is what helped me as well for my daughter. And it is very, very important that you give small meals, but give these meals frequently, and let each meal count. Even if you're giving a nicely cooked khichdi, then it must have some veggies as well. And if your child is a fussy eater like mine, you can just boil all the veggies and create a vegetable stock, and you can put it whenever you are making anything for your child. Keep the quantity of meals less but frequent, and fluid intake has to be increased like anything. The child has to continuously keep on drinking, sipping on something. And if it is difficult for your child to gargle, like toddlers find it difficult, then hot water can be sipped slowly. And steaming, of course, it goes without saying that steaming and gargling are the best ways to ward off this evil that is that's gone inside your child's body. And you know what, I also noticed that children tend to get dehydrated a lot. So oral rehydration will also work. ORS, electrol, for my kid, it worked wonders. It kept her hydrated. At the same time, when she wasn't eating anything, that still kept a balance. So make sure you are giving this to your child as well. Lots and lots of fruits, lots of green veggies, even if it is just boiled and seasoned with a bit of salt, that is absolutely fine. And you have to make sure that when your child is bathing, too much of time is not spent in the washroom. Children tend to play a lot in the bathroom, and they tend to play with water, and just during the recovery phase their body is very weak. So make sure that the time they are playing with water is very very less, rather it shouldn't be there. So quickly they should be taking bath, and hands should be washed frequently, because again this time the body is very susceptible to different kinds of viruses. So very important to make sure that they're washing their hands, less use of sanitizers but more use of soap and water, and washing their feet is also very important. Also, what I noticed, that skin becomes very rough during COVID recovery, and you may notice that the skin has become whitish, it is peeling off. So you can apply coconut oil, you can apply Vaseline on the body, plain jelly Vaseline. You can apply almond oil or coconut oil. I have already suggested olive oil is all what you can put on your child's body. Make sure your child is wearing slippers. It's a big task for me because my child doesn't wear slippers at all, but you have to make sure that the child is wearing slippers, because that keeps your child's feet protected, and then it remains clean as well. So these are like some of the things that you should be keeping in mind, and keep a closely monitor your child during COVID and also post recovery. Post COVID recovery phase is very very important. We were advised to keep a track of SpO2 levels post COVID also. For a week we kept a track. Now a toddler's fingers are so nimble and thin that it sometimes does not go well in the oximeter, and you end up getting wrong readings. So the thumb on the feet can work well. So that means you take the thumb of your child's foot and put it inside the oximeter. Also, all this finger and this finger, that is middle finger and index finger, can be used for getting a proper correct oximeter reading, and let the oximeter reading become stable. If it keeps on blinking, let it be there for 1 minute, and then the reading you get is the correct reading. Okay, so make sure you are also checking your child's SpO2 reading, but not too often. At least 1 hour or 2 hour apart. The reading should be 1 or 2 hours apart. And you have to also ensure that your child is taking steam and can put a drop of Carbol while he or she is steaming, so that the nasal passage remains open. So you have to keep the drainage system very very clear. There should not be any blockages, right? And definitely be under the guidance of your doctor, your pediatrician, and make sure your child is taking absolute rest. So this is a tough time, but yes, whatever information we have, we must share it. Whatever worked for me, I'm sharing with you. If you have any more tips and ways through which recovery happens fast, do share it with me. You can comment below, and all the best to all of you. I hope you all are staying safe, and all the best.